I'm Laura.
I'm Mallory.
And we are joining you again here from Meridian to check in with you to see how everybody's doing out there and tell you a little bit about how we're doing as well and some of the things that we are doing during this odd time, right? So Mallory, I actually had a question for you. So a couple of days ago, I know that we were talking and you mentioned that you have been keeping a gratitude journal. And so I heard you say that, and I sort of stored it away because I don't know what that is, first of all, and I was kind of intrigued by it. So can you tell me a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, sure. So a gratitude journal, you can do it different ways, but the way that I've been doing it is every day, at some point during the day, I write down 3 things that I am grateful for. Anything that I come up with that's positive for the day. Studies show that they consistently show that practicing gratitude is related to and increases happiness in people.
Yeah,
so I wanted to give it a try, and it's going really well so far.
That's really neat. See, I do have some, I guess some more questions about that, because I've seen the same studies and I've heard, those same things. So it's definitely true. But for me, and maybe it's just my personality types, a lot of times that feels really dismissive. Like it feels like, oh, look on the bright side, and it could always be worse, and there's a silver lining, and sometimes that feels like my worries and my concerns and the bad stuff is still there, right? So sometimes stuff like that for me feels like we're minimizing that. So can you speak a little bit to that? Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I totally understand that perspective. So it's really interesting. We tend to focus on the negative.
Yeah.
All the time, right? Focus on the negative, and to a certain point, it seems to feel like everything is negative if all we do is focus on the negative. So keeping a gratitude journal or just practicing gratitude in some way kind of forces you to think about the positive things in life, because there's something positive. So it's more about like balancing out the negative. The negative is always going to be there, but also focusing on the positive too, balancing that out.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, because if it's about balance, then really it's about just sort of avoiding falling into that place where we feel like everything's bad, where the bad is just so much outweighing the good, and then we sort of forget that there's also good stuff, right? And so does it have to be related to like the virus and like the self-isolating and all of that, or is this just broader than that, like life?
Yeah, just anything, life. It doesn't have to be related to the virus at all. Like something that I wrote the other day was that I'm thankful for living in Florida, living in the sunshine where I can step out my door and it's almost always nice outside. Again, I love nature, and that's my happy place. But it can be anything, just kind of forcing your mind to think about the positive.
I think that's really neat, and I think that's important too, because you touched on this, that we really savor the bad stuff. We that's what keeps us up at night, and that's what we sort of turn over in our heads, and we say like, oh, the what ifs and the maybes and the woulda, coulda, shouldas and all that stuff, and we editorialize that in our heads. But when we have something good, I mean, we really do just say like, oh, that was cool, and that's kind of where we leave it.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that. I might give that a shot. So does it have to be like big stuff, little stuff? Like, is there any rules, or is it really just anything?
I think there's no rules. I think having a dedicated journal for it, and whatever comes to your mind, if you think of 5 things rather than just 3, write it down. Doesn't even have to have an explanation. I think it's just whatever you want to do. And there's other ways to practice gratitude too. Another way that I like to do it is to write thank you notes, or to just send a thank you via text or email to someone that I appreciate but maybe don't tell them that often, whether it's like a coworker or a friend, family member. I like to do that.
I love that, and that actually reminds me of something that I noticed the other day, and actually posted about it on my personal Facebook page. But I've noticed one of these, and this will be my first entry into my gratitude journal. How do you like that, right? So I noticed that we tend to go about our busy lives a lot prior to this sort of slowing down we've had to do, and we go, oh, hi, how are you? And we say, oh, I'm fine, and then we keep it moving, and we didn't really care how the person was, and the person really wasn't fine, and I feel like more and more right now we are asking people, how are you? And we are invested in that answer. answer. Like we care, we actually care, and not everyone is saying I'm fine. They're going, you know, I'm hanging in there, or you know, some days are better than others, or I guess just because we're more aware now than ever that everyone we're talking to is going through something. But truthfully, that was the case all along. We just didn't know what they were going through, and it wasn't the same thing we were going through. But right now, we're all kind of going through the same thing. So I think that's a good segue to remind you that Meridian's by your side, that we're all going through this with you. And what are some ways that Meridian can help?
Yeah, so we, you know, if you are feeling stressed out, we are open. We can actually schedule appointment via telehealth. So you just have to have a smartphone or something, and we can get you help without you even having to leave your house. So while we are fully open, we are also remaining safe and allowing people to stay safe.
Yeah, so give us a call, 352-374-5600. Talk to our Access Center and see how we can help you.
Yeah, and tell us how you're going to practice gratitude.
Yeah, drop it in the comments. Let us know what you are grateful for today. So, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.